All right, what is good with you this morning? We're going to talk about Eddie Hearn losing his mind. Man, what is this dude thinking? But I told you guys when this stuff started with Dazn that this type of stuff was going to happen because that's what they do. Let's talk about this nonsense that Eddie Hearn is talking about with Dazn and jacking up the prices again. Classic bait and switch. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Man, it's going to be a good 2020. We're going to keep on dropping this content. If you're not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. Also, hit the like button, hit the share button, do all those good things. Thank you to everybody that joins as members down below. Also, I want a special thank you to everybody over on the Patreon page. We got a lot of good stuff coming this year. And thank you to everybody that comes by the live streams Monday through Friday, right around 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, and OG Boxing Talk on Sunday. As you see, I'm going to be trying to speak a little more calmly this year, trying to have just a more kind of level demeanor, because I don't want my blood pressure to get too high, because you know the OG ain't getting no less of an OG. But man, I'm happy 2020 is going to be a really, really good year. And it's going to, I do believe, be a year when certain things we talked about back in 2018 were going to pop up. According to reports, Eddie Hearn says that he wants to raise the price of Dazn from $20 a month to $50 a month. Now, if we recall, first, why is that bananas? That is because it's a bait and switch. It's the bait and switch. It's what people said. We said that he was going to do back when they started Dazn and they started throwing all this money around at fighters. They said pay-per-view was dead. You were going to be able to get for $9 a month or basically $10 a month what you get, for pay-per-views that are $75 a pop, right? All that. And when that first started, I said, and other people, I'm not alone on this one. Actually, I'm not alone on a lot of stuff, but one of the things that I said was, look, man, that's not going to last. First of all, that model's not going to last. If you're spending all of this money on people, eventually you're going to want to get a return on your investment from that operation. Now, there could be some years that go by where you're basically like trying to build your infrastructure up, before you make money, kind of like Amazon. There was years and years that Amazon didn't make a lot of money because they were spending that time really building up their logistical infrastructure. And now that they have their infrastructure built and they have all that set, they've got their own trucks. Now they're not dealing directly with, they're not having FedEx deliver your Amazon packages. They're coming in Amazon trucks, right? That type of thing but eventually, they're going to start want to make a profit. And now I do believe Amazon is to the point where they're doing that for the last few years, but it was years before they got there. So when I looked at what they were trying to do with Dazn, that's what I saw. Like to be paying the people the money that they're saying that they're paying them in the $1 billion budget, the $1 billion budget over 6 years that they were going to put in there, $9.99 doesn't make sense. And eventually what they're going to do is they're pretty much trying to get some people on board at a low price. And eventually they're going to raise the prices and you're going to be stuck with the same situation you were with pay-per-view, but you're going to be over there on Dazn. The best case scenario for them probably would have been that the competition just dies off, right? Because they can't compete with the money that's being spent by Dazn. And then Showtime would have gone away. HBO had already gone away before they started, right? ESPN might decide that there's not the return on investment for them for boxing, and then Dazn would be the last one standing, and they could eventually raise the prices. But it seems as if because Fox, now this is just my opinion, Fox got into the heavily into boxing, and they have money for days, right? And they have all of in the United States. I know a lot of people watch this video from the UK. Some people watch it from Africa. Other people watch it from Asia. Australia. So I understand that. And, sometimes I got to definitely try to point out that I'm talking about this from an American perspective, but I do know that there is a larger world out there. But from the United States perspective, and those are the people that DAZN are selling boxing to. I don't believe as of yet that DAZN is available in the UK. DAZN, I think, is available in Canada. It might be available in like Germany, in Asia. But the boxing is designed or is focused on Americans and bringing in the American market through boxing, because they don't have any of the other big sports. They don't have the NFL. They don't have the NBA. They might have some Major League Baseball like shoulder programming, and they probably I think they have the NFL in Canada, but they don't have it in the United States. So with this, so the long story short in that is I could see this coming, and more than likely it's going to happen, and more than likely it's going to get worse, because they cannot sustain that. They cannot sustain that level of financial loss, specifically in the United States sector, and still make that it'll affect their ability to make that application seem profitable to investors. When you just have a big ass pit, a big ass money pit in the United States sucking up the profit from all over the world. And why would a raise from let me tell you the percentage in 2 years, that if this came true, and I believe it will come true because Eddie Hearn's saying it, and not because I believe Eddie Hearn, but just that I believe everything that Eddie Hearn says. Let me be clear about that. I believe Eddie Hearn, not because I think he's trustworthy and I believe what he has to say about a lot of things. I believe Eddie Hearn about this because this seems like something Eddie Hearn would do to take credit for, because he already knows it's going to happen. That's why I suspect that he's telling the truth. I hope that I explained that clearly. But that would be a 500% increase in the price in 2 years. 500. I have DAZN because it's a tax deduction for me. I have a boxing channel. So I have DAZN, and I signed for at the time that it was $9.99. A little winds up after taxes being a little over $10 a month. And that, I do believe, goes away in February. So when it goes away in February, if they increase it to $50 before that goes, and now the same service I was getting for $10, I have to pay $50 for. Now let me ask you a question. We know that we're excellent mathematicians around here. What is 50 times 10? 50 times 10, or what's 50 times 12? It's $600. It's $600 a year. I am not paying $600 a year in pay-per-view. That is a huge increase in price of boxing in the United States. If they do that, huge. And that, my friend, will fail. That, my friend, will fail in this regard. You will not get the average Canelo Alvarez fan to pay $50 a month to hope that he can see Canelo Alvarez fight twice a year. That, my friend, is $300 a fight. Just say, for example, that you really are a Canelo Alvarez fan and you just want to see Canelo Alvarez fight. Canelo Alvarez fights twice a year. That is a $300 pay-per-view for each one of Canelo Alvarez's fights. That's gigantic. That's gigantically expensive. That is terribly expensive. That is 3 times the cost of his pay-per-views that you would get on HBO. But somehow they are supposed to be revolutionizing boxing in the United States and doing this great service for boxing by killing pay-per-view. But because you're going to, instead of letting me choose on a fight-by-fight basis, you're going to make me sign up for a year. You're going to have me sign up for a year and pay for a bunch of stuff that I don't want and a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to watch in order to pay for the 2 fights a year that I might want to actually see. And that's pretty much what, on the outside of it, how many fights does DAZN have that you want to see? That is enough for you to want to pay for, right? Extra for. Now, Fox has other programming. ESPN has other programming. DAZN does not have any other programming that I'm interested in watching other than boxing. Nothing. There's nothing on there that I want to see other than boxing. So there may be one a month. Say there's one fight a month that I'm really interested in. That's a $50 pay-per-view for every fight that I would want to see on DAZN. And that, my friend, is what you call a bait and switch. Okay? The big bait and switch. If what he says is true, it's already a bait and switch because it's at 20 now, right? And at 20 now, which is $240 a year for two top level fights a year. And I'm not including Gennady Golovkin, over the hill Gennady Golovkin, or Daniel Jacobs, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., or KSI Paul Logan, or Jake Logan and whoever else is he's fighting, or Tevin Farmer and Tevin Farmer. I can honestly, man, I can see plenty of fights on Fox and ESPN that are the level of a Tevin Farmer fight. It's just, hey man, it's ridiculous, but we told you it was going to happen. So, hey, enjoy it if that's what you liked, if that's what you were crying out for at the time. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.